Hey guys, welcome to Silence in the Backcourt. Today we have Amanda Torres. How are you doing, Amanda? Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you guys so much for inviting me. I'm doing great. How are you?
Now,
How is everyone?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to finally be back. Our podcast has been on a bit of a hiatus because I'm moving to Phoenix for law school, and I've been working my guys pretty hard, and they deserve a break. So I'm happy to finally be here and doing this today. And I'm happy that you got to come on. We met on TikTok, which that's fun, right? I mean,
Yeah, we got a good TikTok community. Love a good women in sports. That's kind of my thing. But I mean, congratulations on law school. That's huge.
oh, thank you. Thank you. Hey, I mean, you have a big girl job. I mean, you're out in Puerto Rico, right?
Yes, I am out in Puerto Rico
Okay.
right now.
That we're definitely get to that. That is amazing though. We're gonna talk about that. But firstly, I want to talk about so you dual sport athlete at Elmhurst, right? You gotta represent.
Yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
what was that like?
It was busy. So I, growing up, was an athlete. I played volleyball for 12 years, growing up, and I decided I wanted to go and play in college. Got recruited by Elmhurst, my junior year of high school. Visited my senior year, fell in love with the campus and the team. I played 2 years of college volleyball before deciding that I couldn't mentally or physically do it anymore. And then I did 3 years of Division III track and field at Elmhurst. The only reason I did three is because I graduated a semester early and had to forego my senior year. So I only did three, even though I wish I would have done four, but didn't have any more credits. So wasn't really a student anymore.
What events did you do in track and field?
So I was a javelin thrower and a high jumper. Those were kind of like my specific events. In high school, I did a little bit of everything, but in college, I was mainly just high jump. Big high jump girl, love high jump. Can't get enough of it.
Okay, no, I mean, I hated track because I had to run, and like with most sports, the punishment is running. So immediately was a no for me. But I had to do a bunch of running and track when I was in high school, and absolutely just loathed it. But hey, and I did high jump in middle school, and that's hard, and I can only imagine. So I mean, props to you. And being a dual sport athlete, like that's amazing. Like that's tough. I mean, I can only imagine like the time commitments you'd have to put back and forth and going to from one team to a next, and like that player dynamic, like that's good.
Yeah,
Good for
it was very busy for sure. I mean, I would get to campus mid to early August, and I would literally not have a second to breathe until the last weekend of May. Literally, I would go from one season to another. So it's a lot of commitment, but it was something I wasn't new to. In high school, I did three sports, so I kind of think I like trained myself for that. When I got to college, it wasn't really
Yeah,
that
you were
big of
built
a
for that.
difference. Yeah,
You
I
were
don't think it
built
was
for
that. Yeah, no, 100%. I don't think it was that big of a difference from what I was used to in high school. So, I mean, that was kind of great because in college you actually had less classes. So I was able to
right.
dedicate more time to like kind of chilling and like taking me time. So it was great.
Good. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit. So like, when did you start playing sports?
The first time I played a sport, I was 7 years old. I started playing tennis. Yeah, so I started playing tennis at 7. I played doubles tennis and I absolutely hated it. I was not a tennis player. I love the sport of tennis. I think it's such an interesting sport. There's so much to watch. It's a long game, but I hated playing it. I was not meant to be a tennis player. I wasn't good at singles. I hated being by myself. And I wasn't good at doubles. I didn't like my partner. I mean, I was 7, so pretty much says a lot about where I was at. My sister started playing volleyball the same year I played tennis. And that following year, I was like, yeah, I want to play volleyball. And that's kind of where I started at 8 years old with volleyball. And I stuck with it until college. So,
That's awesome. Wow. I mean, hey, I never played tennis. Okay, so I wanted to play tennis low key just because when I was in middle school, the choice was it wasn't much of a choice. So we had to play two sports to stay in our athletic period, and I played basketball, and I didn't want to do track. Like I said, I absolutely hated running, right? And so I was like, I told my parents, no, I'm just gonna go. I'm athletic, right? I'm gonna do tennis. They said no, cut that off immediately. So I never got to fulfill my tennis dream, but it's fine. I'm not worked up about it. But hey, you hated it, and knowing that makes me feel a little better. That maybe I would have hated it. So like, when did you kind of figure out that like you loved sports, like you wanted to pursue this further, and whether that be in high school or college? Like, when was the moment you're like, hey, this was for me?
I mean, in high school, I knew that I wanted to work in sports. Actually, going out of high school, I was between sports law and sports medicine. I was so interested in athletic training out of high school. Just because I was always injured in high school for some reason, I lived in the athletic training room. And that was something that really interested me. I was actually really good at taping my own ankles and taping my own wrists. Like, I I was really good at that, and that's not a flex. That's for sure. That's not a flex.
No, that's a
knowing
flex.
how to do
Taping
that.
your own ankles, that's impressive.
Yeah, I don't think that's that much of a flex. That just means I spent way too much time getting injured, and I don't recommend. But for me, I was really actually interested in athletic training, but I was horrible at science. Like, genuinely, I'm so bad at science, and I didn't know where to go from there, but I knew that I really wanted to work in sports. And I had actually really been interested in law. My plan was actually to go to law school, but yeah, I just knew I wanted to go into sports. And my aunt, who actually now has a doctorate in education, she used to be a school counselor back in the day. And she sat down with me. She's like, okay, let's figure out what you want to do. And we came down to sports management. And that's kind of where I started, because at least with a law degree, there's no specific like prerequisite degree that you need to get to go to law school. So my aunt was like, okay, get a degree that would be useful even if you didn't go to law school. And I'm like, oh, wait, that's kind of smart. Yeah, I definitely took that advice and I ran with it. I stuck with sports management. This was like my sophomore year of high school. I sat down with her and we came up with this plan. And I stuck with sports management. I actually had applied to several schools that didn't even have sports management programs. And I got really lucky that my top university gave me good financial aid, gave me 2 sports and my major. So I got really lucky. And yeah, now I recently actually just graduated with my bachelor's in sports management. So kind of stuck with that after high school. Took one sitting and I figured it out.
See, I wish it was easy like that for everybody else, but you felt that calling. That's really great. Wow. All right, and what did you say you got your BA in?
I got a bachelor's in sports management. I do
Sports
think though that in my case, obviously I'm a very special case. I stuck with exactly what I wanted to study, but I think career wise, I've pivoted, and I think that a lot of people kind of feel that. Like, I studied sports management. I knew that I wanted to study sports management. As I mentioned before, I actually wanted to get a law degree, and I'm not going to get a law degree anymore. I decided to go for my master's in business. And I think that's just like the case for a lot of people. A lot of people in sports, there's not like a linear way to get into sports. I think everybody kind of just like feels it one day and that's it. Like, they feel their calling in this specific thing and that's it. So for me specifically, career wise, like, I was going to be a lawyer. Like, that's what I wanted to do in sports. And then I was like, actually, I don't really want to be a lawyer. And I like backtracked a little bit on that, but like, it's normal. And I think that, yeah, with sports management, I stuck to that, but in other cases I did not. So I think it's normal to kind of have, I don't know, just a different path in general. So even though like you can have that clear cut structure of like, yeah, I want to study sports, this is what I'm going to do. And then that's what you ended up doing in the future. For other people, it's different as well.
Right, right. And I seem to find that, at least with whenever I played, our whole lives are sports. I mean, from us growing up through the sport, and then our college experience is primarily the sport, or in your case, the sports, right? A lot of the times athletes don't think of anything outside of the sport. So like, they don't know, okay, maybe I want to go into this, or maybe I want to go into like, I don't know, or maybe I want to go into teaching. Maybe I want to be an astronaut. Like, their minds are just kind of set to sports. They don't think of like the other career paths that they could possibly go into, because their whole lives have been trained to just do the sport, right? Yeah. I mean, I wanted to be a lawyer, and that's just kind of the thing that I wanted to do. But then I see a lot of athletes, they just go into sports because that's just what they have always known, and it's not necessarily what they. I mean, it's something they've always been passionate about. But then once they leave the team atmosphere and everything, they immediately go back into sports, and they find that, okay, well, what if I wanted to do something else? They never kind of get that sense of I had
Yeah.
options. But like, it's really great that you felt like this was what I wanted to do, and this, and like to stick with it like that
Hmm.
calling is just very, very special, just to know immediately, like, hey, this is what I want to do. Like, you didn't have to like do a bunch of soul searching to kind of figure it out. You kind of like you were built for that, right? Taping your own ankles and
Yeah.
everything. And now, what kind of
Yeah.
injuries did you get? You said you lived in the
Oh
athletic
my
training room.
gosh. Oh my gosh. I always had, well, obviously ankle injuries. I was a volleyball player and I was specifically a middle. So obviously I was in the front row, always jumping. I landed on people's
Hmm.
feet constantly. I twisted my own ankle constantly. So my ankles for sure. I have patellar tendonitis on both knees. So always kind of getting in there, using the massage gun on my quads to kind of take the tension out because I had a
Yep.
lot of tension. I've sprained thumbs, I've jammed fingers, I sprained my LCL, I've oh my gosh, so many things. My IT band, I had overusage on my IT band in high school. Oh my gosh, like I have so many injuries I couldn't possibly list them all. It's actually kind of unhealthy.
Literally. I mean, hey, I completely understand. I lived in the athletic training room too. Um, I I always envied volleyball players with how much they could squat, and like the being so dominant. Like I mean, I played basketball, and yeah, we could squat too, but like I was super, super skinny, and I didn't hit like a second stage of puberty. Like, you hit a second stage of like
Yeah.
college weight room, you're like, okay, I'm putting on weight, I'm keeping on weight. But like, I felt like I was always getting injured in high school just because I was really skinny, and then my quads were all small, and so I had the bilateral patellar tendonitis too. Like, my knees were always hurting, and I was just told,
Yeah.
okay, quads need to get bigger. And I was like, okay, these volleyball players have over here monster quads, and they can jump and do everything that I can't. Like, I'm frustrated about it. That's not fair. But like, hey, I completely get it. I blew out my knee my freshman year of college. I tore my ACL, MCL, meniscus, and then later on I ruptured my plantar fascia. So I get it. My athletic trainers loved me because I could always make my own ice bags and make them perfectly. And so,
Yes. Oh my gosh. Actually, that was something that when I got to college and I already knew how to do that, my athletic
dude,
trainers were like, you should not be here anymore. You need to walk out right now. Because like actually in terms of injury, I got hurt less in college, but when I did get injured, it was like, yeah, this is season ending injury. Like my
mhm.
freshman year, I herniated a disc in my back
Oh,
at the beginning of track season and it pinched a nerve in my back and I literally lost mobility in my back for I want to say like 10 months. Like I couldn't touch past the top of my knee. Um like I literally couldn't tie my shoes without like feeling pain. So for me in college, I was constantly in the training room getting ice, getting heat, getting stretched, massaged, everything like you could
mhm.
possibly imagine to help relieve that pain. Because of the herniated disc and because of the pinched nerve, there was a lot of my back muscles that were compensating for what my spine literally wasn't able to do.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, that was really intense, and that was my freshman year of college too. So like I'm fresh out of high school. I'm literally halfway across the country from my parents going through a season-ending injury. I didn't have medical insurance over there as well, so it was like kind of crazy in general. Just the fact that like I'm dealing with all of this and like it was just insane to go through as like a freshly like 18, 19-year old out of high school.
Yeah, no, that's incredibly tough. Hey, I completely understand. Whenever I blew up my knee, my I'm from Texas, and Arkansas isn't. I was in Little Rock, Arkansas when that happened, and it my parents were 8.5 hours away, and then COVID had just hit, so there was like a new level of loneliness kind of thing that was going on. And then whenever I ruptured my plantar fascia, I was in Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm halfway across the country, so not having that support system, I mean, that's really tough. Now, you mentioned too that you didn't have the medical insurance. I played Division 1 basketball, and I've always been very, very lucky that within my programs, whenever we had major surgeries or like had major injuries that led to major surgeries, our school would pay for it. We like it'd go through our primary insurance and then go through our secondary insurance. Did you have that experience at your school? Like did your school
Yeah.
pay for stuff?
Yeah, so in terms of like our school, so yeah, it had to go through our primary, which obviously is my personal insurance. And
Mm-hmm.
once again, since that I'm from Florida originally, I went to college in Illinois, and my own health insurance was still in Florida. Like I'm in Illinois, but my health insurance is in Florida. So in Illinois, I couldn't get anything done because I was still technically a Florida resident on my health insurance.
Wow.
So in terms of that, like it was a really, really complicated process because this happened like I had just freshly come back from winter break. So I had just been home. I wasn't going to go home for another 2 months for spring break. And then after that, I wasn't going to go home for another 2 months for summer. So like it was a lot. And then when I was finding appointments for everything that I needed, it took all summer to figure out. And by the time I figured out everything, it was already like August. I was already going to be back at school. And so I had to continue figuring things out when I got back to school. And it literally stopped everything in my life for like 10 months. It was insane.
Wow. I mean, I know the physical aspect of it is awful, but I mean, it definitely takes a toll on your mental health too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
How did you cope with being injured and facing season-ending injuries constantly and with your mental health?
Oh my gosh, it was awful. To be honest with you, like it's not even. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like I was ready to transfer home. I was ready to transfer home. I was ready to be done. A ton of my friends had already quit the volleyball team and were transferring away. And then on top of that, like I was dealing with like just other factors of like being on the team that I was. Like not only was I was coming back from an injury. My coach is just like, he was just awful, like literally not helpful in the least when I was dealing with my injury, specifically my volleyball coach. My track coach was awesome, but like my volleyball coach was so hard to deal with sometimes. And like, he's not a bad person. It was just sometimes I would explain something to him and I don't feel like he was actually hearing me. And it was like, okay, I'm talking to you, but I'm like shouting into a void and you're not getting it. And so that was especially frustrating because on top of the fact that I had been dealing with just like this injury and like stuff personally, I'm talking to like the one trusted adult that I have and you're not getting it either. And then I was also dealing with like a teammate that like just, I don't know for what reason, decided that my life was the one that she wanted to make fun of. And like I couldn't do it on top of everything. So mentally, I think like as a sophomore in college, like I probably had, at least my first semester of sophomore year, I was probably in like the worst mental state possible. I was literally waking up, going to class, going to practice, going home. I like didn't speak to anyone. I didn't do anything. I had all online classes too. So like realistically, I was literally having no interaction with the outside world as like a 19-year-old in college. And I didn't want to. Like if I was around people, I was making it everyone's problem that like I was having issues. And I was like, I can't do that to my friends. And then on top of that, I'm like calling home. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like I need to go home. I don't have a support system here. I don't have anyone who understands me. Like I couldn't do it. And then like I did do it and I graduated from that university. So it's like, it took a lot to get past that, but it was really, really intense. And I think that being far away from home and like not having that support system was really hard. But I don't think that like I would be the person I am without having gone through that experience.
Right. I mean, I don't know if you've listened to our other episodes, but I had similar experiences with my coaches. I hit the transfer portal twice, and I had three different programs with coaches that didn't know how to have a healthy relationship with their players. And like, I completely understand when you're saying that you felt like you were talking into a void. In my personal experience, it was like with one particular coach that came to mind. She would get you to tell her personal information about you and then throw it back in your face later. So it's just like, I'm not just talking
Mhm.
into a void, but that you don't really care. You're just trying to gain information so you can manipulate me and gaslight me and make me feel like a bad person or try to use it against me. So I can understand where you're coming from there. And I had another coach that would just straight up not care about anything going on in our lives. So it's kind of like, okay, you just kind of are using us for our athletic ability, and I kind of feel exploited in a way to win games, and you just kind of just don't care.
Mhm.
So that void, in another sense of, I completely get that, to where it's like, hey, you're not hearing what I have to say, or
Yeah.
and because you really just kind of don't care. So I completely understand. And
I think on the other end though, I did have a like that was specifically my volleyball coach. I think on another side, my track coach is like the reason I stayed at Elmhurst. Like I had one coach that was like completely unhelpful and like just didn't listen to a word I said, and
Mhm.
I kept telling him like everything hurts. I can't do this. I can't do that. And it's like, no, you're fine. Like you can do this and you can do that, but you're not listening to me. Versus I had a coach, like my track coach, he was like, okay, how are you feeling today? What do you think you can do? If you think you can do this, do that until it hurts. If it hurts, don't do it. Um, and he was always like constantly giving me exercises that would like help my back, strength exercises, stretching, just like being so helpful in ways that like I didn't even know a coach could be helpful. He has his master's in like kinesiology, and so like he was so helpful in like just helping me figure out how to like get rid of the pain while also just making me a better athlete and a better person. And like I'm not like realistically I was not a great athlete on my team. I was a better volleyball player than I was a track and field athlete. That's a fact. But I felt more at home on that track team just because I had like a team that like rallied behind me and was like, okay, like what can we do to help you? Versus like, okay, I'm telling you I need help and you're not listening. So like I think I
Right.
got two sides of the spectrum, and it was kind of a crazy whiplash when I like when you think about it. But I'm really really grateful because I got both experiences, and I know where I want people to go, and I know what I would want for people that are coming into the school to like know and to be. So yeah, it's crazy. That's why I had to cut you off a little bit because I had like such different experiences with two different coaches in the same school. So
You can cut me off any time. I mean, like, no, that's great, and it's so special that you experienced good things at the same school. Like one poor experience and then one, like, this is how it should be, and that's really really important. I think some people only find that whenever they transfer, or some people find that the grass isn't always greener. But it's nice that you didn't have to uproot your entire life to find it somewhere else.
yeah.
Like that, and having a whole degree in kinesiology whenever you were having injuries so often, like that is special. And having a coach that listens to you and cares about what you have to say and what's going on in your body and has a degree to back it up and understand, oh man, that's a massive difference maker right there.
hmm
Now,
No,
what
and
was the
he was very big too on like he always got new certifications. Like always was certifying himself in different things. Like so this past year he actually got promoted to like the director of track and field. He was just an assistant coach when I started out, and this year he got promote like well this past year got promoted to the director of track and field in general and like cross country. And so that's a lot of different events and a lot of different things that you don't really know about, and he literally certified himself in every single event that we do so he can understand what we're going through and what our process is like, because every single athlete on a track team is going through a different process. All of our events are different, and also every single person that's in the same event is going through a different process mentally. So like kind of understanding what each of those athletes needs was very important for him. And I think it was really great because he was very focused on making sure each of us had exactly what we needed when we needed it.
Wow, man. Hold on to him. We love that. Man, that's really special. I'm glad you got to experience. Man, I wish I had. I mean, I should have gone to Elmhurst. Dang. Like
No, my
that's
track coach
really,
is
really special.
awesome.
That's really special. I mean, other coaches should take notes because that's feeling cared about enough to where like your coach is going out of his way to learn more about other things, getting certifications so he's better at his job. That's oh man, no, I'm jealous. I'm sitting here envious of you. Like that's incredible. Wow,
Yeah.
good on him. Good on you. That's awesome. Now, one thing I did want to ask. So you kind of talked about how you kind of had an issue with a teammate, kind of hurt that experience there, and then your track teammates were completely different kind of dynamic, right? So what was it like going from like
Mhm.
what was the key difference between because like you said, everybody's going through their different different events and stuff in track, right? Volleyball, everyone kind of knows each
Yeah.
other's job. So like what was the difference between going from the volleyball player dynamic to track?
Yeah. I think it was kind of crazy because specifically in volleyball, when I was in high school, my volleyball team and we were tight. Like we were friends on and off the court. We went to the same high school. So like we played inside and outside of school together. We had the same coaches literally forever. And so I had the same core of like a team, I want to say for like 5 straight years. And so that's unheard of in pretty much any sport ever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's what we had. And I'm still friends with all of those people, like outside of high school. We've been outside of high school now 4 years, and I'm still friends with all of them. And so it was crazy because I went from like this really great, really amazing team. Like we're all friends with one another. Like I see them on school breaks when I go back home and I visit my parents and all this stuff. And then I go to college and I'm like, wow, this is great. Like I'm going to have another really great team. And then I got to college and it was like, oh, no, I don't. No, I don't actually. I was
Girls
so
are mean.
prepared for it to be. Yeah, no, actually, it, I it wasn't really like a whole team kind of thing. It was more of like a one or two people kind of thing, and also a very big culture shock on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm Puerto Rican. I was born in Puerto Rico but raised in Miami, which is pretty much entirely Hispanic. My entire volleyball team was Hispanic. My coach was Hispanic. And then we just got each other in ways that like a lot of other teams didn't. I got to Elmhurst and my team was majority white. There was only one other Hispanic on the team. There was only two black girls on the team and the rest of the girls were white. Not even like it's not even really a racial thing, just it's really just like a culture thing. Like you guys are
Yeah.
all from the Midwest and I'm not used to that. I'm used to like yelling in Spanish, yelling in your face, like that's what I'm used to. I'm used to my coach like literally like being an inch from my face yelling at me and like that's what was normal to me. But then I got to Elmhurst and it was like not like this is going to sound horrible, but it was like mental health, kindness, we got to be calm. And I'm like, "Oh, this is not this is not at all what I'm used to actually." And like well, it's great that like they're prioritizing mental health. Like we had a sports psychologist that was really helpful. Shout out Rob, he was really great. Um,
Rob.
but but it did get to a point though that it was like, okay, I am one of two Hispanics on the team, and I'm like suggesting music, for example, and I'm like, I want to have at least like one song in Spanish. Like that's what I want to hear. Me and the one other girl on the team that were Hispanic, both of us wanted this one song to be on our playlist, and they never added it. What they did add was "I Like It," which is Bad Bunny, Cardi B, and J Balvin, which is a song
Yeah.
majority in English, and then Mia by Bad Bunny and Drake, which is also another song that's majority in English. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, it was like I'm suggesting things, and those suggestions are like getting once again shouted into a void, and like you're not listening to me. Like you guys get literally every other song on the playlist, but one song in Spanish is going to kill you.
Yeah.
And so that for me was like, okay, I'm starting to notice things. And then it got to like points where I don't know, like I just kind of we had recruits on campus, for example, and I was saying something about how well, the recruit asked, like, oh, where do you guys like to go on weekends? Or like, who do you like to party with? And I said, oh man, I love the soccer house. I'm really close with them. They're my fave. And I like had said that. And this one teammate who I like knew wasn't like a fan of me very quickly was like, well, that's your opinion. And we're sitting with a recruit, like a potential future teammate, somebody that we're trying to get to come here, and you're making us look horrible right now.
Yeah.
And there were just other points in like that same conversation, the same girl, like I was saying something and she would like cut me off mid-sentence to say something else. And it's like, at that point, you're just making it obvious. It's like not even it's not even like you're doing this to the whole group. You're just doing it to me, and it's very targeted. Mm-hmm. And that same girl would do the same things at practice, like would like get mad at me for doing things at practice, or like would comment on things that I would do on like my spare time, or just like the people I was friends with, and just like so many different things were such an issue to her. And I'm like, this is so not your problem. Like,
right, yeah.
What I do in practice, if I do it wrong, I'm expecting my coach to correct it. You're not my coach. Or like, if I'm going out with people you don't like, that is not your problem. That is my life. And so it just got more and more apparent, and it got to a point where like she just made it so impossible to go to practice. Like genuinely, there were days I like feared going to practice because she would just make it such an issue for me to like say anything or do anything or just literally be myself. And her and I were very similar personality wise. Like, we're very vibrant, very loud, and like that was our thing. And I think that like in my head it felt like she was very threatened by having somebody that's similar to her and like not having all that attention on her. And I was just like, dude, I don't care enough. Like, you can have it. Like, to me, I can't. No, that's the worst part. I was like, I literally am not even a threat to you on court. Yeah. So like, you need to calm down. But for me, it genuinely just felt like you care way more than I do about like things that don't matter. Like, I care about winning games. I don't actually care if you like me or not. Like, I want to win a game. I want to leave college with a winning record. And to be really honest with you, she was the main reason why I quit volleyball, because she made it so impossible for me to like going to practice that it made it impossible for me to even like playing. And like, I told my coach about it and he's like, oh, but that's just her personality. No, dude, screw that. Like, you didn't hear anything I just said. Like, this has been going on for so long, and I finally got up the courage, like worked up the courage to tell you, and you just say like, oh, that's just her personality. If it was just her personality, it wouldn't be bothering me this much.
Right. Now, but I'm not trying to throw shade or anything but towards your other teammates, but like, did they do anything to support you or talk to her or kind of stick up for you in any way?
Sometimes yes, but most of the time no. And like, once again, I didn't even stand up for myself. So like, to be really honest with you, I did kind of set a standard of like, oh, like if she's not bothered by it, then neither should I. And like, I should have been more upfront about like, yo, this is bothering me. Like, can we discuss? There were times though that my teammates did stand up and were like, yo, it's a little much, like you need to calm down. But I think I set a standard of like, yeah, I don't really care that much, therefore I shouldn't care. And so like, or therefore if she doesn't care, like I shouldn't. And so I do think that it, like with that specific teammate, to this day, like I see her around because she graduated last year, and for some reason my senior year she decided she still wanted to come back and hang around with everyone, and I'm like, dude, you already graduated, please go home,
go somewhere else.
I mean, she would pop back around, and for some reason, now that we weren't on the same team and she wasn't even playing volleyball anymore, she was with me, and I'm like, didn't know we were friends ever. Actually didn't actually know you cared about speaking to me ever, because I don't. I know I'm not going to fake being a friend to you. I don't like you because you don't like me, and you never gave me your, because at least for me, I'm not very quick to be like, oh, I don't like you. But I think that like, once you make my life miserable, like I have a reason to. And that's why I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like we're going to be all group like homies and like be all cool with one another when we're not.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. I think I'm really frustrated that you told your coach, like someone that's a trusted adult. And like in reality, we're all adults. I mean, like whenever you go to college, you are an adult, right? But within the culture of it, like that is your trusted grown up. Like they're an adult, you're an adult, but they're adult
Hmm.
premium. Like they
No,
are on a
I say
different
the same
level.
thing. I say the same thing. I always say like, yeah, mom, I'm an adult, but like you're an adult pro max. Like,
Like yeah, you're
but
like
but I
you
think
have
like
the premium subscription.
specifically too, yeah, like to me specifically too, before I had even gone to my coach, I actually went to my like to the sports psychologist
Mm-hmm.
because the volleyball team had a sports psychologist, and I was like, hey, like there's something that's weighing heavy on me and I need to talk to somebody about it. And I had spoken to him about it, and he's like, have you talked to her about it? I'm literally just like, I fully told him like verbatim, I was like, I can't have this one-on-one conversation with her because I am afraid of her. I'm afraid
Mm-hmm.
of her taking what I say and throwing it back at me and manipulating me and making me feel like what I feel isn't valid. And that is my fear. That's why I don't want to have this conversation, because I know that's how she is. And he's like, okay, well, if you don't feel comfortable having that conversation, then it might be good for you to have this conversation with your coach and see what he thinks. And that's where I went to my coach and was like, hey, this is how I feel. Funny enough, the day before I told my coach about how I felt, there were two other girls complaining about the same girl on our team being rude to a different member of our team who I was really close with and who I confided in a lot because her and I were going through the same issue with the same girl.
Oh, so it's a pattern. It's not just you. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
those things ruin a culture. And whenever you go and you talk to your coach and they don't listen to you, that just makes the culture worse. And you wonder why. I mean, different topic. Like women don't report things that happen to them. Like we're afraid
Mm-hmm.
because you're not going to listen to us. Like what is the point of me going to someone that is in a position of power and asking for help and guidance if they're not going to do anything? Like am I just supposed to sit here and be miserable? Like that's not fair to me, and that's not fair to your college career. I mean, and that's not fair to your team. That one
And I
person
think
making your
that's,
life miserable.
yeah. And I think that's also like a big reason why I quit. I specifically said, like, when I quit, I sat down with my coach and I was like, hey, like, if I'm being really honest, like, I don't want to be here anymore. And that's not fair to the team. Like, it's not fair for me to like show up and take away practice time from somebody else that deserves it because I don't want to be here. Like, I don't see, like, I come to practice and I don't even have fun. And so, like,
Mm-hmm.
for me, I was very much like, if I'm not having fun, then why am I here?
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, why did I choose to come here over other schools that had been recruiting me, over being close to home, over this and over that? And I'm like having a miserable time. And also at the same time, once again, having such a stark difference at the same school on a different team, like really showed me like, oh, I actually don't have to put myself through that. Like I actually don't have to do that in the least. Like there's no reason why I need to be doing this to myself when I have another team that welcomes me with open arms, a coach that listens to me when I need to talk to him, and I don't have to feel uncomfortable telling him these things either.
Yeah. Now, did you feel like of course like you have other people that you're competing against in your own event? Did you feel like you were loved and cared for at the same level as people that did other events? Like I'm wondering how like
Oh
that
yeah.
dynamic went.
I will say like my event specifically, my coach, that one that's now the head of the track and field department at Elmhurst, he is specifically a jumps coach, and he very much focused on like long jump and triple jump, and high jump was kind of on the back burner a lot, but that weirdly made my event group so close. Like we were all really, really close with one another because we spent literally every single practice with one another, coaching one another, and
Mm-hmm.
like that that event group like healed me in a lot of ways because after having that experience with like other team, like on the other team with like the teammates that weren't really helpful and like a teammate that was literally making my life miserable, to then go to this other team and be like, wow, like you guys are people I'm literally relying on and I'm leaning on because we don't have anyone else. Like it was so nice. And I'm not gonna like, I love my coach. There's no one that has made me a better athlete in person than him. Like I love him a lot. and I have a lot of respect for him. Shout out Stoney, like love that guy. There were moments though that it was like I needed you to be there for me in terms of like competition aspects, and he wasn't. But it's also just like sometimes I look back at him like he's doing so many things at once that like I can't even blame him. And that's why I'm like there's like a huge difference in coaching. Like for my volleyball coach, it's like, okay, there's 25 of us. There's not that, like, that's a lot, but there's not that many of us where like we're all in the same place all at once. There's not that much that you need to be focusing on other than this one place at one time with all of us. Versus a track coach, track meets have people competing in completely different places across fields from one another, sometimes not even in the same place. Because sometimes track meets will have things going on the track and we'll have a completely separate portion of like land at the same campus that's doing a different event. Like, and so when you look at that, it's like, okay, well, I can't even blame him because we're all like 10 minutes from one another walking around and like we're competing and he can't be at two places at once.
Yeah.
For him, I'm like, I actually feel bad sometimes where I was like, dang, like I wish you were there, but at the same time I can't even blame you.
Yeah. And he was like, I love the way you talk about him. Like I'm still like jealous. I'm like over here like that's that's incredible. And it's nice that you were able to like take yourself outside of like your feelings there and kind of realize, okay, well he can't be everywhere at once, but he has such a great personality and he has such a good coach. Like you wish him to be, like you really, really want him to be, like he's that good. Yeah. I mean, I just had coaches that would make me hate practice or like make the sport that I grew up on just not fun. And it didn't just feel like a job. It just felt like a job that I hated. Like when people talk about like how they hate their job and they want to quit, and it's like, okay, but I've been doing the same job since I was like 4, and so I loved it, and now I hate it. I'm clocking in and clocking out and absolutely not enjoying it. So hearing such wonderful things about one person, like I'm at the same place. It just goes to show like cultures are different, and good leadership facilitates good culture. I mean, like that leadership trickles down, right? You can't expect to have a good locker room culture if your coaching staff isn't teaching good leadership characteristics, you know, like you can't expect.
And I think specifically too, the way that I looked at it too is I never had to lie to recruit for his program.
See, and that's a big thing. Were you ever a host?
Oh, all the time. So when I was on the volleyball team, we had different committees for different things. So we had like we had like leadership committee, which was like our captains. We had recruiting committee, and then like there was, I don't even know, like we had like a volunteering committee, stuff like that. Like we had different committees. I was on the recruiting committee. I'm very loud. I love being around people, so I didn't have any problem helping recruit. And when it came to track, it was like, okay, so who's free at this time that could be there for the recruit? And I was always free. I loved being at the recruit visits. For recruiting committee, it literally felt like a chore to be at recruiting visits. And it's like, okay, like I'm on this committee. I signed up to do this because this was a big part of my experience when I was a high school athlete. Like this is the reason I came here, literally. And I loved being on recruit visits. But for the volleyball team, I was like, yeah, I love my team. I love my coach. Like it's so great. But I actually am totally lying to your face. And I would literally want to quit tomorrow if I really wanted to. And versus like when I was on track visits, it was like, no, like you're gonna love this team. You're gonna find every like, it's gonna be weird to say, but like every flavor of person ever. Like you're gonna find somebody that you're gonna like on this team. You may not like one person, but you're gonna find like 20 other people you're gonna love, and you're gonna love our coaches, and like you're gonna love the culture of the team. There's just so many different things that like I look at that, I'm like, I never had to lie to recruit to this team. And I was really good at recruiting, so they had me on lock. I loved being on recruit visits.
See, this whole episode is just gonna be you recruiting for Elmhurst. Like this is like you're gonna be their social media person. It's gonna be you're getting another job actually, part-time recruit. See, I was a host at my first school a lot, and my coach said, because you're one of the smarter ones. I was like, okay, I'm also terrified of you. And so like whenever you're a host, you're okay, but like when you're a host, you're expected to lie. And I think the worst thing is like lying to their parents. That was the thing that broke my heart because I'm over here miserable and I was lied to because my host was terrified because if they tell the truth, they could get in trouble. So I'm sitting here in a position, it's like, okay, I have to lie to not only you, I have to lie to your parents because I could get in serious trouble. And lying to their parents, like, you imagine sending your child, like your baby girl, and you're moving your child is moving across the country, they're alone, your support system is just not there, and you have someone telling you, hey, come here, we'll take care of her, we have a great relationship with our coach, we have plenty of resources, all of this stuff, and just being lied to. Like you're sending them to unknown already, and then they get there and they find out, oh shoot, mom and dad, Nicole's a liar. But it's like, how can I get mad at Nicole whenever she had like not a gun to her head, but like low key
but it's like the fear instilled in you.
Oh, it's terrifying. It's terrifying because like your playing time is up for grabs. Your playing time, the way you're treated in practice. I had issues to where like, okay, if I didn't lie, I wasn't allowed to practice. Like there's so many things that could go wrong if you don't go with the conditioning of fear.
Yeah, I mean, at least for me, I never got to that point. Like my coach never threatened my playing time because I didn't get any anyway. So, but just like in general, like I distinctly remember when I quit volleyball, I quit volleyball right at the end of my sophomore year of college, and I distinctly remember like that fall. I worked in the athletic department all 4 years of college, and that fall I was actually going to be the scorekeeper for the volleyball game. And I just remember seeing one of the girls' parents, like that I had recruited a year before. Like this girl is from like San Diego or something like that. Like she was from far away. And I remember seeing her parents, and they came up to me after the game and were like, hey, like we heard you're not on the team anymore. Like we're so sad. We hope everything is good. And like that to me, I was like, dang, like you guys cared about me more than my own teammates. Like that's so insane. Because also when I quit the team, like I quit the team right after like all of like during our exit meetings. So like we weren't going to meet as a group anymore. And so I did that on purpose because I didn't want to have to stand in front of like our end of the year meeting and be like, hey guys, I quit. I would much rather just like send a text and be like, yo guys, I quit. Bye. And like, leave the never talk to you guys again. And so that's what I did. I waited until like our individual meeting and I was like, yo, I'm out. Like I can't do this. And so I just remember texting it in the group chat, and there had been a new transfer that we had just gotten in that semester. So I had literally only been with her one spring season, and she was the first person to be like, hey girl, like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I hope everything is good. I hope you know, like you still have a friend in me whenever you need it. And I love you and I care for you and I hope that everything is good. And like that to me, I'm like, you just got here and you've shown me more love and loyalty than people I've known for 2 years. And that to me solidified the fact that I'm like, I made the right decision. Like I'm really grateful for that. And like also for that parent that came up to me afterwards and was like, hey, like we hope everything is good. Because it really shows you like, dang, like I was in a really horrible environment for myself and for my mental health. And I actually stood there for 2 years and I stuck it out because in my head, I was like, I want to make it to senior night. I didn't even care about like playing games. I didn't care about anything. I cared about making it to my own senior night. You know how sad that is?
Yeah.
That I only cared about making it to my own senior night. Dude, that to me was insane. I got to a point I was like, I don't even care about senior night. Screw senior night. I need to like prioritize myself and prioritize being a better person and a better athlete elsewhere.
I completely understand that. I remember specifically having a conversation with my mom on the phone when I was at my last school, and I was a grad student. So like I did 5 years of playing, and I flat out called my mom and I was like, look, I love you and I know y'all have sacrificed a whole lot to get me here, with like AAU and high school and everything, and just this being my third school. But like it has gotten so bad. Like, hey, I know I'm on a full scholarship, but if this doesn't get better, I will take out loans and I will pay for my last year grad school. And I don't have to have a senior night. It's okay. It's really not that big of a deal. I'm ready to choose me. I had gotten to that point. So I completely I get it. I get it. And that's the thing, like we deserve better than that. Like it shouldn't just be like I have to get to this point. Like it's almost over. Like you should want to go to practice because you love it. I then they say like, okay, well, you get to be here. No, I have to be here because I'm like contractually obligated from like scholarship or like my whole life. Like I feel like this is now an obligation. I have to come. And like as an athlete, you're not like you're not raising a quitter. Like there was a whole thing. You're not supposed to choose yourself. You're supposed to choose your team and everybody else before you, right? And so you
honestly,
like
I think at like the college, and I think at the college level too, it's become such a hard thing to be like, I don't know, it's just like very hard to quit something at that point. Obviously, like you said, like you've been doing it for so long, so like why are you gonna quit now? But then also it's just like essentially it's like a taboo topic to like discuss wanting to leave a team or quitting a team and like telling people, like I quit a team. I like it just becomes so hard too because once you're an athlete for that long, it's also like people have memed it like you're a NARP, like a non-athletic regular person, like you're a NARP now. But it's like it's like a meme when you're like not an athlete anymore, and it's like it's actually not funny. Like you deciding to quit is not funny. Like, and I think that's unfortunately too such a common theme all through sports, like getting to college and figuring out that like, wow, I can't do this after like I've dedicated my entire life to it. And like coming to that realization is genuinely heartbreaking for a lot of people. And it was heartbreaking for me, as I'm sure it was heartbreaking for you. And I don't think that a lot of people actually have that discussion and are as open to having those discussions as other people. Because we're also so like it's so ingrained in us too that like if we have an issue, like we got to hold it back because it's better for the team.
Right. And that's just sports culture. And I think sports culture and mental health, they don't mix very well. I mean, I'm glad we have sports psychologists now, but like the whole aspect of I have to stuff it down because I have to be a robot, because I have to be these conduits to my coach. I have to put my feelings aside because feelings don't win games, actions do, all this stuff. Like that's completely contrary to what we believe in mental health of feeling your feelings and rationalizing them and making the best course of action and just kind of like realizing you're not alone. Whenever you perpetuate that conditioning of sports culture of like I have to shove everything down, I have to be a robot, those things don't mix, and that directly affects your output to where like I'm not happy at practice, I don't want to get extra reps in, I'm fearful of going to practice, like I don't want to be here and my life is now miserable. Like those are two things that just do not go together unless like we change the cultures of sports. Like that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start this podcast is to develop a dialogue and try to change these kinds of systems, because I think a lot of the times within athletics it's a culture of fear. And I think like what you said, athletes, they get to that level and they've been training their entire lives and they feel like, oh wait, I can't do this. A lot of that perception and that aspect is because a lot of sports programs have a very problematic culture, and it's a culture of fear. It's where they feel like I can't be myself, I have to lie to parents, I have to lie to recruits, I have to lie to myself, and it's just not healthy. Like no one should have to feel that way, you know. Did that make sense? I feel like I just went on a tangent that didn't make any sense. I hope that
it's okay. I've been going on tangents pretty much this whole episode, so all good. And I totally
dude, and I love it. You've made sense the entire time.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I do think that like it's become such a stigma, and like, and I'm grateful that like you have this now. You're creating this platform where like you can openly talk about how mentally like athletes are really screwed up. Like if we're being honest, every single person that I know that's been an athlete has gone through something mentally that like you really can't even put into words. every single one of us has something
Therapy.
wrong.
All of us need it.
Yeah.
All former
And
athletes need therapy.
oh, 100%. And that, like, I say that wholeheartedly. I think that so many of us went
Yes.
through so many different things that, like, we need to decondition ourselves from what we're used to, because we are so conditioned to do something specific that, like, when you let it go, it's hard. Which actually goes back to what we spoke about at the beginning, where it's like a lot of athletes career wise don't know what to do outside of sports because they're so used to being in sports that, like, they don't have an identity outside of it. Like, once you're done, what do you do now? And I think that kind of thing comes up as well when, like, you decide to quit. Okay, like, I'm quitting sports. What do I do now? And I don't think that, like, a lot of people actually discuss that kind of transition between, like, I was an athlete, I was literally an athlete 24/7, and then now I'm not. And now I have to just go to my regular 5 and sit at a computer all day. And it's just like, nobody actually prepares you for that transition. And I think that's something that, like, people need to start talking about a little bit more, because you look at that and that's a very real and true event for every person that comes in and out of college. So a lot of people, even Division I athletes, that never go pro. And so you're going to tell me after 4 years of college, you're done and you just go right into the workforce, but you're not prepared for that. As a Division I athlete, that is a full-time job. You are doing a full-time job in your college sport. And then after that, it's nothing. You're just not playing anymore. You're done. But nobody talks about that. Nobody makes that apparent.
No one cares. And that's the thing. 2 years after you win your conference championship, no one cares. No one remembers. No one cares. You leave and you go back home. No one cares. And so it's just like, who are you outside of your sport? I had to figure out how to have hobbies. I had to figure out of, like, okay, what do I like to do? Do I like going to the movie theater? Do I like playing video games? What kind of books do I like? Like, I had to figure out who I was outside of being just a basketball player. And yeah, I figured, okay, I didn't want to go to law school, and I feel like being an athlete, it helps you in the workforce because you have a good work ethic. You know how to, like, tough things out. I understand that. But then you don't know who you are as a person. And so you're just kind of used to being told what to do and doing it at the best of your ability. But then you're just so used to being a robot. You kind of just don't know who you are. And it's very, very unhelpful developmentally as, like, a whole human being, you know? Like a holistic human being. Who am I?
And also, like,
I'm just
career-wise too. Like, career-wise, you dedicate so much of your time in college where other people are getting internships and they're doing jobs part-time while they're getting their degrees, while you're stuck at practice all the time. And you don't have the time to build up that portfolio and that experience that when you get out of college, a lot of employers don't actually care that you were a college athlete. And I think that, like, so many people highlight, like, yeah, being an athlete is so great for your career. No one actually cares, to be honest. Like, nobody cares that you dedicated 4 years of your life to being an athlete. They care about, oh, what internships did you do? What classes did you take? What was your GPA? They care about that kind of stuff, which makes sense. But also, when you are an athlete or a dual sport athlete or a Division I athlete or whoever it is, you dedicate so much of your time to your sport, you don't even have time to think about getting experience. And your only time to get experience is over the summer. But then sometimes summer internships are so oversaturated with people applying that you fall behind anyway because you don't have the experience for that specific internship. So then you don't even have a summer internship to deal with. And so, like, I think a lot of people don't actually stress or, like, focus on the fact that, like, sometimes being an athlete is a detriment to your career and your future past college.
Yeah, I completely get it. Like, with basketball, right? I mean, basketball goes through all of the major holidays, and then, I mean, and you're up there throughout the summer for preseason and off season, right? So there's no study abroad, there's no summer internship. There's so many opportunities that you miss, that your friends that are NARPs, right? Oh my gosh, I envied NARPs so much. Like, y'all get to go home for Christmas. That's crazy. You get more than 5 days to go spend time with your family. You get to go to have internships and study abroad and go learn another language often. Like, you get to go do all of these things, and I have to be here. And it's like, Okay, that sucks. Final thing that we're going to talk about is No Solo. Our podcast, Silence in the Backcourt, is partnered with No Solo. No Solo is a wonderful mental health advocacy brand, and No Solo is really great, and they have given us a special promo code. So if you go on No Solo and you type in the promo code Backcourt, you'll get 20% off your order. But No Solo is great too because it sends 20% of their proceeds to the No Solo Give Back Foundation, which funds mental health initiatives globally. So we absolutely adore No Solo. And Amanda, we would like to send you home with some No Solo stuff. So after the episode, if you want to text me your information, we will love to send you some stuff to say thank you about being on our podcast. Mental health is such a huge thing, and we love that you are a part of our crew today, and we think you're great. Obviously, I've told you many times on this episode, I think you're really cool. So I think you're really cool wearing their gear. So please send me your information because we loved having you.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate that. And thank you, No Solo.
Last but not least, guys, Amanda's gonna plug her social media, so y'all can go ahead and give her a follow. She's an amazing individual, and you need to follow her right now. Okay, go ahead, Amanda.
Yeah, so both of my social medias on TikTok and on Instagram is I Love Women in Sports, exactly like that. Both of my personal accounts on both are linked in the bio. And obviously, if you guys want to connect with me on LinkedIn, my LinkedIn is Amanda Torres Mirabal. So please follow me on anything and everything. And if you want to chat with me. I love to talk to everybody. So be a friend. Don't be a stranger.
Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, that's gonna conclude our episode. Amanda, thank you so much for being on. And for anybody listening, please know that you are more than enough always. I'll see y'all later.